Hello witches and warlocks, welcome back to my channel. It's so nice to see you again. Now it's been a while since I have posted a video. I've been really busy at work, I've had lots on, we're getting close to Christmas now and I'm doing twice as many shows. I'm rehearsing all the time, so I'm always busy. I've also had a little bit of an accident. I twisted my ankle in a show extremely badly, almost broke it, so I've been off my feet for a while. So I haven't really been able to get to do a video. However, today is the day that we're going to have a video, and it's the second part of my book haul, Witchy Book haul. So we're going to kick right off with actually, oddly enough, the last book I bought actually. So which is this one, The House Witch. Your complete guide to creating a magical space with rituals and spells for your health and your home, and it's by Adrian Murray Hiscock. Hiscock. So, Adrian Murray Hiscock, I think that's how you say it, or Ahan, right? It's something along that lines. Basically, also the author of The Green Witch. So basically, this is a book of spells and herbal remedies and stuff you can do around the house. Just, your basic stuff. It goes into loads of different things. It's got quite a lot of content. This is a content page. I've only just bought this, so I haven't really gone into it properly. So that's the first content page. So you can see that it goes into loads and loads of different stuff. It's got a place to call home, Heartcraft. So it goes into your well-being, stuff to make your home cleanse, different remedies you can do within the home. It looks quite an interesting book, to be honest with you, and it's something that I've always wanted to look into. I mean, it even goes into recipes that you can do in the house, like at home, just when, you can bring your witchcraft into everything you do, into your cooking, into your cleaning. Basically, if you want to be a bit more witchy around the home, it's a great little book. And hopefully I'm going to get the chance to sit down and read it when I'm not learning 1,000 other things. My next book I bought at the same time, which is The Witch's Journal. This is a book I've been wanting to buy for a while, actually. It's one of those books that is the basic witchcraft material. It's basically like a grimoire. It's set out like a grimoire. There's a content page. So it's got magical correspondence, magical tools, and spells and charms and potions. So that's what it's broken down into. So it tells you all about it, and it's done as a journal, as if like you were doing a book of shadows. Goes into what is magic. It tells you all the basics, all the correspondence. It's handy. I mean, there's the chakras, color correspondence, so ideal for like candles and stuff like that. Goes into basic crystals, goes into herbs, basic herbs, just all stuff that you can find around the house. It goes into planets, the moon cycle, it goes into different astrology, deities, different deities, Celtic deities. It goes into Egyptian deities, Greek, Roman, Chinese, African. It tells you all that, and then it goes into types of tools. See down there, little affirmate. It tells you all about different tools. goes into candles. It basically tells you everything you need to know, all the basics. It's actually quite a really good book, and it's all set out in a nice simple way, like in like a scrapbook style. Like it goes into spells. It's if you were a young teenager first getting into witchcraft, then I would say this is perfect for you. I would have loved to have had this book when I was a lot younger, when I was maybe in my teens, when I first found the craft. I would have loved to have had a book like this, because it's so simple. It's set out so nicely, really simple to follow, you know, even down to like auto setups. It's color coded, so it tells you everything and why it's doing it. It's so colorful and nice. It tells you all about the holidays, you know, what the broom is for. It goes into the history of the broom and why, you know, why we used it. Cauldrons, all different types of cauldrons throughout different places, wands. It tells you everything. So if I would honestly say, I have a lot of books that I like, and this is one of the ones I'm actually going to read completely, because it's so easy to do, and it takes you back to a time when things were simple and nice, and you were learning for the first time. And back when I was learning the craft, it was so difficult to do because the books were so thick and long-winded and told you every detail about history. There was no lively fun in it. Like, there was no like colour in your face. I mean, there was a couple of books that I read later on in my craft, and they were starting to get a bit more fun and interesting. But this one, I think, has all the fun of the books you get from. Sometimes you get these books, and they're nice and they're colourful and they're bright, and you know, but they don't really tell you much about the craft. They just give you a load of love spells, or you know, and they don't tell you why you're doing it, and they don't always have all the information. They just pump these books out, and they say, oh, it's a love spell, you know, we're gonna make everything red, and you're gonna write your person you love down on a piece of paper and do this and do this. And not always is it the right thing to do. And it does explain to you why you're doing the thing you're doing. It's just there for a bit of fun on Valentine's Day and stuff like that. However, this has all that element of those fun books that you like to pick up at Valentine's Day for a bit of a laugh. However, it has all the correct information and tells you about the craft and tells you why you're doing what you're doing. So I can't recommend this book enough, really. So it's by Celine Silverwind. And pick it up. I picked this. It was originally $16.99. I think I got it for about £3 in the works. If you're in England or Britain, yeah, the works. Such a good book. Next one is this one, the Witchcraft Handbook. Unleash your magical powers to create the life you want. So, yeah, it's by Matilda Starr, I think that is. Matilda Starr, I do believe. It was originally $12.99. I think I picked this up for like £3 in the works. I haven't really read this one properly yet, but again, just like the last one, it is full of magical spells. I would say this is one of those books that are very much full of fun spells to do. However, it does give you the right information. I mean, it's a nice book. It looks good. It's very eye-catching, and that's the reason I looked at it in the first place. It caught my eye. I mean, you get all the correspondence there in the beginning to tell you what's in the book. There's a lot of it. You got your introduction, the power of a woman. I would say that's the only bad thing about this book, is that it's aimed towards a woman. A lot of the times, spell books, witchcraft books are aimed towards women. And I think they forget sometimes that there are male witches out there, there are warlocks out there who want the same information. And we don't always want the woman's perspective. You know, we want to know how a man does it. I mean, let's think about it. You know, Scott Cunningham was Scott Cunningham was one of the leading male warlock witches out there who wrote some amazing book, and he was a man, you know, and he did it from every perspective. He gave you the information you needed, and there was no aim, let's aim this for a man, let's aim this for a woman. It was aimed towards the magical community. So I think that's the only thing that lets this book down, is that it's aimed towards a woman. And, you know, it's the rules of the craft, and how magic can help you, and how does magic work. It goes into love spells and sex spells, friends and enemy spells. I never liked those sort of spells. I would say, in my personal opinion, a book that tells you how to, you know, hurt your enemies, or, you know, to defeat your enemies or anything like that. You know, at the end of the day, a book should teach you not to have enemies. And yeah, there's going to be people in your life that are not nice to you, and they are horrible people. You know, they have insecurities that make it so that they will bring you down. They will make you feel bad so that they can feel they're not the only ones feeling that way. They want to make you feel bad to make themselves feel better. And in fairness, I don't hate them, because hate's a strong word. I don't dislike them. In a way, I feel sorry for them, because they obviously have so much horrible, evil things going on in their life that they have to make you feel bad to make themselves feel better. And in a way, I feel sorry for them, because, you know, they've obviously got problems, and they've probably got issues, and they don't know how to deal with that. So they hate the world to make themselves feel better. And I know, because I've been in that position. I've been in a position of, I felt so bad and low that I hate the world, because it's the only way I can make myself feel better. And it's not until you address the issue that you have at the time, the reason you're feeling this way, is when you realize, you know what, you don't hate anyone. You shouldn't have any enemies. So yeah, I don't like books that force you to do anything that could possibly, potentially give you any sort of hassle in the threefold community, you know, in the threefold rules. Obviously, whatever you put out there comes back to you threefold. And if you do anything that could cause somebody else to have an issue or a problem, or, you know, if you made them lose their job, you know, or you made them lose their friends, or it's always going to come back to you threefold. Whatever you put out there into the world, whether that be negative, positive, it will come back to you threefold. You know, 3 times as good, 3 times as bad. So I would suggest, if you ever think of a spell, please make sure that your spells are always got good intent, because we don't want any more bad mojo in the world. We have enough of that already. So yeah, so this is home and family spells. You've got work spells, destiny and fortune spells. Again, depending on how you feel in your craft, I feel that my destiny is written for me. I feel that I can change my outlook on life. I feel like I could change the outcome to my life. Potentially, I can change how I feel within that situation. I can ask for my fortune to be rewritten. You know, that isn't always going to help, but I do believe there's a destiny for me. I do believe that fate will find a way to lead me down a path that I was always meant to be down. It's just how I deal with the obstacles within that path. You know, and if you stay on that path, then, you know, you're going to get great rewards at the end of it. So, yeah, I don't believe that necessarily that I can change my future. You know, I can maybe mold it to how I want it. I can ask for it to be done. I just feel that, you know, that there's a reason for everything, and, you know, there's always going to be a reason why something happens at that time. It's just how you deal with it at that time. You can either, for instance, I was just recently talking to my friend, and I've been feeling a bit low about the way I've been looking lately. I've been looking back at my life and thinking to myself, if only I could look like I did when I was in my 20s. You know, if I could only just be that athletic again, if I could be that, you know, that if I could look that way again, if I could get my body to look that way again, then I'd be happy. And she said to me, you know, you got to remember that you are beautiful, you are amazing the way you are right now, and the reason you are is because that person back then was amazing and beautiful, but was nowhere near as wise as you are today. And that was, you know, you were a boy then, you're a man now. And with becoming a man comes great wisdom and, you know, and learning. And it's true, you know, since I was 20, I've learned so much in my life. And, you know, I've made mistakes, I've done things I shouldn't, I've, you know, made decisions I shouldn't, I've made decisions that have benefited me, decisions that haven't. And I've learned every step of the way. And, you know, I will carry on learning, and I will carry on, you know, becoming a better person. However, looking back at that, yeah, it was great. I looked great. I was in my prime. I was, you know, I was at my healthiest, you know, all those sort of things. And I can take those things away and think, you know, add them to my life now. But that doesn't take away the person I am today. So, yeah, always think that you can change your life. You can make, but you have to deal with the decisions at that time and take what you've learned in the past and then change your future. But don't expect a spell to rewrite your future, because it's not going to happen. I believe that, you know, and if you believe that, you can, you know, by all means, go ahead, believe what you want. I'm not going to tell you what's wrong and what's right, because I don't know. But all I can say is, for mine, I would say I have a destiny. You know, the person, my friend Mandy, who was brought into my life at a perfect time, changed my life. You know, she made me go down a path that maybe I wouldn't have taken had I not have met her. So I think life and, you know, the powers that be do actually throw these things at you to guide you down the right path. But to change them, I do believe that you can do spells and potions to make you feel good, you know, make you feel good at that time to make the right decision. My next book is this one. It is an amazing book. I have two people that I have looked up to in my witchy world. In life, I have many people I've looked up to. However, in the witchy world, I have two. One of them being, as I've mentioned 1,000 times on my channel, is Mandy C. She's a great influence on me. No, she's a stunning girl. She's beautiful. She's so good. And she gives me such great advice. However, my second was actually quite a young modern witch. And, you know, her name's Harmony Nice. She's a lovely girl. Here she is. She's on the back cover. She has her own YouTube channel. She's amazing. And she really does span the world of modern witchcraft and, you know, old witchcraft. she's she's a young modern witch. She lives a life like anybody else. She lives a modern way, but yet she has all the aspects in her life that are old-fashioned witchcraft. The ways, and she lives by the old-fashioned ways. However, she's still a modern witch, and she still can live a life. She doesn't, she doesn't dress in black and go out and, and only goes out at night and only does this. She lives a normal life every day. To look at her in the street, you probably wouldn't even know she was a witch. She doesn't ride a broomstick. She's not all that sort of gothic-y type witchcraft that you see sometimes, She's a modern witch. And I respect that because, I have to live in a world where witchcraft isn't really something that would come up in my life. And none of my friends are witches. None of my work colleagues are witches. None of them are pagan. None of them are Wiccan. Like I live in the entertainment/dancing world where it's all about theatrical things and theatre, and which is great. But yet there's no witchcraft, there's no Wiccan, there's no pagan. There's nothing in my work life that has anything to do with my craft life, and I felt a bit weird that I was sort of maybe having two lives in a way. And when I saw Harmony on YouTube, I realised that she was living as a witch, but having a normal everyday life. You would never know any different. So I respect that about her, and so I watched her YouTube channel. She has so many great things on her YouTube channel that I love watching, and she goes into everything in this book. So if you like witchcraft, you're Wiccan, pagan, all of it, she explains it all in this book. It's a great little book. It's very much old text. There's nothing, how do I put this, a scrapbooky, or like, some of the other books I've shown you. It's very old classic way of reading, like I learned when I was younger. The book is very much like that. And I'm assuming that Harmony probably learnt that way too, which is why she's chosen to do her book this way. But yeah, it's basically the modern guide to witchcraft, and she shows you everything. Basically, we go to the content page, and basically it's got everything from Wicca, witchcraft and paganism, divination, nature, the threefold law, which I just went into, magic, Wiccan paths, the book of shadows, deities, mental health and benefits. That's another big thing about Harmony, is that she had a touch with touch of mental illness, and she documents that in her YouTube channel. She doesn't hold back. She tells everybody the truth about her life, and she's not ashamed of the fact that she had a mental health issue. We all do. We all have problems in our lives, whether you're, an everyday, Christian, Catholic, whatever, non-religious, even down to Wiccans, pagans, witches. We have problems too. It isn't always, a hard life. We all have those issues, and mental health is a big part of that sometimes. Mental health is a hard thing to deal with. Even in the witchy world, there is no magical spell that just take away mental health. It's just how it is, and sometimes you have to take time in your life to go, do you know what? I'm not in a good place and I need help. And you can use your witchcraft and your paganism, you know, and you can use that to help you in your mental health. There are things you can do. You know, meditation is a great one. You know, get lots of sleep, you know, using, you know, the tools you have to make yourself more relaxed. And she goes into meditation, self-care, creativity, kindness, you know, all these sort of things that can help you in your mental health. So I applaud her for doing that. You know, it's a brave thing to do. How to get started. She takes you into the holidays and the wheels of the year. Altars, magical tools, spells, works, crystals, herbs, colours, witches, alphabet, the astrology, small changes. She goes into it all. City Wiccans, that's something nobody ever really talks about. I'm lucky where I am, where I live. I have the city around me. I have a huge city, which is where Harmony comes from, by the way, which is Norwich, just down the road from me. I live in quite a big town, but I also live by the sea, and I also live by the countryside. So in where I live, I could literally walk through a forest, which is phenomenally nice. It's so peaceful, tranquil. And by the end of it, I'm by the ocean. And it's literally walking distance from where I live. So, and from where I work especially. So, yeah. It's nice that she goes into that whole city thing, because sometimes you're not that lucky. You just live in a city and there's, you know, in the city there's not many trees, there's not many bushes, like there's not much nature around in these big cities, especially London. Well, you have to go into Kent and places like that. But she takes you through City Witches, and it's a nice little book. It's, you know, it looks good. It's quite romantic looking in a way. But yeah, she goes into everything. So do take a look. I could definitely recommend it. 2 people in my life, in my Wiccan world, Harmony Nice, Mandy C, both of them big influences on me. Into this next book, The Modern Guide to Witchcraft. To be honest with you, I'll be honest, I always am. I chose these books because of the way they looked. I actually saw a book review on these, and I remember looking at it and thinking, oh my god, it looks just like an old book that you'd find in a bookshop, and it was just that sort of way of looking at a book and it making you feel good. And that's the best thing about finding a book, is it's got to make you feel good. It's got to make you want to read it, and that's why I bought it. It made me want to read it. It looks aesthetically pleasing, but it has some great information in it. I mean, this one is Your Complete Guide to Witches, Covens and Spells. So basically, this is going to just take you through everything you need to know about witchcraft and the Wiccan world, covens, spells. It takes you into everything. So it's a good little book to have. I can definitely recommend it. I know a lot of people in the Wiccan world have that book and love it. So definitely I can recommend it. So while we're here, I'm going to take you to the next one, which is in the same category as the last book. I do believe it's not the same author, but it's in the same. They are basically a book that follows on. Basically, they are a complete. I can't even think of the word right now. I'm losing my words today. So basically, they are a collection of books that all come together. But they are from different authors, which is quite unheard of, I think, in the book world, because they are all the same style of book. They come as a complete collection. However, they are by different authors. So this one's the Modern Witchcraft, the Book of Natural Magic. So this one's more the elemental guides. So the guide to crafting charms, rituals, and spells. So this one is all natural stuff. Talks about the elements. You know, it's even got little sections where air, fire, water. So you can, if you know me and you know my channel, you know I love myself an elemental guide to anything really. So yep, this basically has everything you need to go into the natural witchy world. So I would suggest that one too. Right, next up is another book in the same collection, and this one is the Wheel of the Year. So everyone if you've watched my channel and you've seen some of my content, you'll know that I'm not very good on my witchy holidays. So I am like, for instance, I think I knew a couple, which was Joel. I knew Beltane. Yeah, there was a couple of words that I knew. I basically butchered in my last box opening the Halloween. I couldn't pronounce it at all, and I thought it was something else. Apparently, it's pronounced Samhain, which is Halloween for the witchy world. But to look at it, if you were to read it, actually says Samhain. It actually looks like. However, it's not. It's Samhain. So I learned something. You know, I'm not saying I'm perfect, by the way. I have been doing this a long, long time. I mean, a very long time, since I was 14. I'm now 39. So I don't know everything. So that doesn't mean that you guys have to know everything as well. So I wouldn't concern myself. It takes a long time to learn everything, and you probably won't in your lifetime. None of us will. And every witch will tell you that, because just one part of witchcraft can take you years to learn. I mean, tarot, for instance, can take you years to learn, and that's before you even get to crystals, into chakras, into, you know, runes. There's just so much to learn in witchcraft, so many ways, so many divinations. Take your time, learn what you want to learn when you want to learn it. That's my only suggestion I can say to you for that. So yep, Wheel of the Year, only because I want to learn all about the different holidays of the witchy world. So if you want to do the same, I should possibly say get this book. I haven't read it all yet, or I've read a little section about Samhain. So yeah, but so far, great little book. And I do love a book that has a whole collection, and they all look the same, and they're all military, quite OCD like that. So in that, and that was actually written by Julianne Julianne Nock, as was The Natural Magic. This one was actually also written by the same person who wrote the Modern Guide to Witchcraft, which is the first book I showed you in the series. And this is Sky Alexander. So this next one is the Modern Guide to Witchcraft, Grimoire, the complete guide to creating your own. Now I recently, at the beginning of the year, started my own Book of Shadows, which I created from scratch. You can check that out on my channel, by the way. And you can make your own Book of Shadows from scratch. And basically I got this book so I could see if there's any ideas in here that I might want to use for my Book of Shadows layout and stuff like that. Just little things that maybe might help in my grimoire. So again, you don't have to get this book. Some people just want to create their own grimoire as they go in their life, and which I pretty much have done anyway. But it's always nice to look at how people set up their grimoires and how they go about it. So it's a nice little read. The next one Almost done. The Real Witch's Kitchen. Spells, recipes, oils, lotions, potions, and the Witch's Health. So basically along the lines of the same book that I had at the very beginning of this. And this is by Kate West. And this was actually one of the first natural books I got. And it's actually really set out really nicely. It's, it's just an easy guide to herbs and spells and different things that you might need. And, if you want to know about your herbs and how you can cook them up and make them nice and, and things that you can and can't eat, things that you can use on your skin, things you can't, it goes into everything in there. So I'll go to the content for you. I'll take you a little brief contents page. So that's your contents page. So it's quite short contents page. And it goes into witchcraft and empowering your herb work, using herbs and plants, soups and bathing preparation, oils, lotions and potions, candles and incense, feasting around the wheel of the year. So it takes you into like what you would eat each holiday. So if it was Yule, it would tell you what to eat and what to set out on your altar and the sort of things that you would what's good that time of year. Takes you into breads, cakes, biscuits, honouring the god and goddess, soups, foods, strengthening and healing, brews and teas, looking good and feeling fine, herbs, sachets and gifts. So basically everything you need to learn about being a witch in the kitchen. It's a great little book, actually. One of the first ones I bought of that style. So it's a good book. And as I always like a book that has a full-on series of books in one way of working. So I found these years ago, and I can guarantee you that I think every witch I've seen out there has this book. You may already have it already, but I saw them and I couldn't stop. I had to get them. Which is this one, the Element Encyclopedia of Witchcraft, and the complete A to Z of the entire magical world. So this basically has everything you need to know about witchcraft. I have not to this day read everything in this. It goes on and on and on and on. It does not stop. It's everything you need to know. And sometimes I go back to it and I look at it, and I still to this day haven't read this entire book. But I do go to chapters and look at it, and this was one of the books I used as a guide in my witchcraft. It taught me everything. It was originally $29.95, and it was actually £20 in the UK when it first came out. I think I got this in a boot sale. I was at a boot sale, it was a boot sale. So it came along. I came along and saw this, and I was like, yes, I have to buy it. And because I bought that one, the person who was selling that one also sold this last one to me, which is the Element Encyclopedia of 5,000 spells. 5,000 spells. Who has time to do 5,000 spells? But that's what it is. It's 5,000 spells. It says what it is on the book. There are so many different spells in here. If you want a spell, it's in here. It's great for when you're starting off. I honestly can say I've never, ever even made a dent in this. Because there's so much. If you can guarantee if you want to spell, you'll find it in here. And this is only 2 of the books in the series. There are many more. It does actually give you a hint to other books in the series, like on the back here, there's I think there's one for magical creatures and stuff like that. So it's great books. If you are a Wiccan, even if you're starting out on your path, find these books. You'll find them so cheap now. Like back when they first came out, they were quite expensive, but £20 is not a lot of money for one of these books. Amazon, I think, do them, but everyone I know in the witchy world has them, I think. So they are worldwide. I've seen them on people's bookshelves in every YouTube video I think I've ever watched. If you look in the background, you'll find that there is these books, because they pretty much tell you everything. I love a good book. And just as a side note, as I was going through these books, I just realised that I actually have 2 of these. I liked it so much, I bought it twice. I must have bought it and completely forgot I bought it, and then looked at it and saw it again. But it's because I think I took a little break from the witchy world, and I must have bought it prior and then completely forgot I had it, and it must have been at my mum's when I sorted out all these books. I went to my mum and dad's and went through all my old stuff that was in the shed, and these were the books that I hadn't brought with me, because I used to work away a lot, so I used to go to different places. I've lived so many different areas of the country through my work. I couldn't always take everything with me, so all my stuff was put into boxes and left at my mum's until I had my own place and I was settled and I was going to be living in one place for a while, and this is the one. So I went and got all my stuff from my parents. So yeah, so that is my books. That's actually all my books I own. That's every single witchy book. Isn't a lot compared to a lot of people out there. I know people who've got so many books, but again, these are all books that I know I can go back to. Again, I buy books all the time. If I see one I like, I will buy it. If it's one that I may think I can use something in that will help me in my craft, then I will buy it. But again, I'm very particular and very picky about what I buy. It has to be beneficial, and it has to be true to the Wiccan world. So I can't just buy any old bit of rubbish, as we say. So that is the end of my little book haul. I do apologise if you found it boring. I didn't mean it to be. It's just that I like these books, and hopefully you do too, and it might give you a little hint or a little help in if you want to choose a book, my views on them. So they are all good books, and I can guarantee them that you're going to get some great use out of all of them. So if you see them, pick them up. If you know, they are great books for witches who are starting out on their path. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to say goodbye. Hopefully you enjoyed my video. Look out for any videos I've got coming next. Hit that little bell notification. It will tell you when I posted a video. Also, I'd like to thank all my subscribers. Thank you so much. I don't have an awful lot of subscribers, but the ones that I do have, I'm so grateful for. I never thought that this YouTube video thing would ever be something I would do, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm liking it, and it's fun, and yeah, it's a nice way to get out there my view on growing up as a male witch, and yeah, I'm enjoying myself. So I've got a lot more videos coming. I'm going to keep coming. I mean, I've got my altar videos, tarot card videos coming your way. Also some more unboxing for my witch casket. I've been great fun with that. So yeah, thank you. So hit the bell notification. Thank you to all my subscribers. if it would be lovely if I could get some more subscribers, and very nice. And you never know, I might even get to that point where maybe I'll do a little haul and a little bit of a giveaway to the people who I'm grateful for subscribing to me and watching my videos, of course, because I've had quite a few hits on my videos recently, and it's been quite nice. And I've had a few little comments as well, and I've loved them. Thank you for all your questions. It's so lovely to speak to you. So yeah, don't be shy. If you have any questions, I don't mind answering them. You know, if you're a male witch out there and you've got any questions, you know, by all means, the more of us the better. So don't be shy. Don't stay in the broom closet. Speak and, you know, have your voice. And I'm going to say goodbye. Remember, you be you, and blessed be.